1 o'clock. Here we go. I will share the screen. Avish, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. And we have Gil on the line too. Gil is the forgotten JV partner who's now available.
Super. Hi, Gail.
I was I was lost, but now I'm found.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to do real quick here, let me just put this back up just in case. First thing, and Avish, I'd like your feedback here too. So here's what's going on. This is Gil's site, and for those of you who are watching us on the webinar here, again, this is my JV partner webinar where basically you get to listen in as I consult with and discuss issues regarding information marketing with my various JV partners, two of which are on the line right now, and that's Avish and Gil Phelan. So Avish, what we're trying to do, Stanley set up this little, just to give the site some kind of a look here. And so given the fact, and Gil, why don't you, let me explain and then you can add to it, Gil. So what Gil is trying to do is he's trying to set himself up as the go-to guy for investing or buying property in Costa Rica, specifically on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. So he wants to both attract, his goal is, to eventually sell information products, but in the meantime, he wants to attract people to come to him as the expert in the field, and both individuals who would want to buy, as well as realtors who have clients who may want to buy there as well. Gil, you want to add anything to that?
That's a great overview, and basically, I think that's where we're at now is trying to decide, which niche to go for because they're both totally different. The regular individuals interested in buying themselves, and realtors, which is a whole another game.
So, and the last I spoke to Gil, he's been away from Costa Rica for about a month, so he's been putting out fires since he got back. But I gave him an assignment, Avish, to do two things, and so this is what I told Gil to do. Let me put it here. So the idea was to go through the Bill Ballou program and understand program on traffic, and then also to research keywords. And the idea here is that, he would understand from the Bill Ballou program why we were doing this, and then the keyword research would give him some ideas on what to do. Avish, any questions or ideas before, we talk about it?
No, I want to hear what you have to say. So.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I was impressing upon, Gil was saying how, he didn't realize how important the blog was. Well, it's important because Google likes blogs, basically, is what it comes down to. And if Google likes your blog and you concentrate on certain keywords, you're going to get listed. And people, again, you're going to want to have a lot of great content on here. Well, one of the things that we need to do, and Gil, let's brainstorm this right now. Obviously, this was just put up as a placeholder page. So what we need to do is talk about what has to be on here in terms of the various tabs. So on Gil's site, and another thing we did here, Avish, is that we decided that gilphelan.com would be his primary site for this. We weren't going to try and come up with a name that related to Costa Rica. You know what? We could always go back and do this, but I don't think we need to. We could have come up with Costa Rican Real Estate Guru, something like that. But hisname.com is what we're going to try and optimize for on this. So given that fact, I wanted to sort of think about and look at this site and decide what some of the tabs should be. Well, Gil, one of the tabs should definitely be videos, because you're going to be doing a lot of videos. And so we should probably have the tabs, right here where it says sample page and home. So if you look at my site, right, I've got these topics here across the top, which is probably too many, to be honest. But in your case, we should think about and brainstorm what those tabs should be.
Well, one of the first, let's go on back to, because I did start promoting a little bit. I got the book finished.
Yep.
Avish, I did that. I don't know. It's I could send you a copy, electronic copy, to look at it. But I know in there I promised a couple of things. Number one was to have a spot on my website. You click on the book cover or whatever, and if there's any misspellings or any issues, which there are, I know that, and also to if they do that, they get a list of 7 things you got to know before you buy in Costa Rica or something. So that's one of the things I like, is a whopping 10 or 12 people have purchased the book so far. Actually, I sold about 10 of them the other day to a local college.
Nice.
The students want to read it here. But so anyway, I don't want them to go to my website and not have what I promised them.
Yep. Yep. So I think that, yeah. So I think we should have one tab that says either buy the book or Gil's book or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so, well, we should have that as a tab. We should have videos as a tab. We should have, let's see,
Photos. Should we have a photo page?
You know, I'm thinking that, yeah, I'm just thinking of what, if I came, Avish, okay, so let's just say that you have now, oh, by the way, I was playing poker last night with a woman who put $20 in a machine on December 23rd and won $2.8 million.
Oh,
Wow.
That would sort of ease things up a bit, wouldn't it? She kept her
Yeah,
job.
unless you end up right back at the casino. So.
Yeah, she hasn't left her job. She's still doing her job as a wine sommelier, and I was impressed that she, you know,
Cool.
she didn't. And she's.
I don't think we'd be talking today, Fred. I'm sorry.
she's. It was pretty funny because she's a wine sommelier, and she also has got dual citizenship, U.S. and Spanish or Spain. So they couldn't take any of her taxes out of that, so she got the full 2.8 million. They didn't withhold anything. That's kind of nice. I'd like to have that problem. Can we arrange that? You think? So here's the deal. I don't know why I got sidetracked off that thing.
Hey, can I ask a question about the site?
Yeah.
What's kind of the end game? Is it to get people to use you as a real estate agent, or are you going to be selling information products, let people do it on their own?
Well, out of the gate, no, just to generate leads.
Okay.
And another, I think, a very important aspect that I'd like to focus on that I haven't in the past is to make sure I get a phone number. And, you know, I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Some people are reluctant to do that. And then on the other hand, I think, well, listen, if they're serious, you know, and they don't give me their number, you know, I don't know what to do with that.
Well, I think
phone conversations are really powerful.
Yeah, I think that what we need here is a pop-up upon entry that says, you know, enter your name and phone number to be entered to win a blank, whatever it is, and we've got to make that significantly large enough so that we generate leads that include a name and a phone number. And if they don't give you the name and the phone number, they're not entered. But to win a blank, new winner chosen each month. So what we want to do is we want to have, when people come to the site, and take notes on this, Gil, because what I'm going to want you to do is to send me this email. I'm going to forward it to Stanley and have him do some of this stuff. But we want a pop-up, which is something that comes up, or it's a thing that slides over. If you see it on my site, it won't come up on my site now, but if you go to my site and haven't been there for a while, it brings up this, Avish, do we have it on yours? The
pop-up?
Yeah, anything?
Yeah, but it puts a cookie, so if you've been there, it might not. Try to go to an interior page. It doesn't show up on the home page.
Okay, let's just see here.
See if it comes up or not.
You know, another aspect that I like emails as well. So that's my dilemma, actually, guys. Is, you know, do I insist that they have a phone number or not?
Well,
because a lot of times, if you don't insist, you don't get it.
No, I would. I mean, but the thing is that they will do that in order to, you know. But you got to put in there, enter your, let's say, name, email, phone number, And then underneath it, you're going to say all fields must be filled out in order to be eligible, whatever that is. Forget how to spell it. Eligible
Yeah.
for the free blank, whatever it is. And let's make it so that, and then after that, you're going to put, we will never sell your contact info.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe there's a little, put a little box that says box to check if they want you to call them for a free real estate consultation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Info consultation. I'm just thinking that I think that what happens is when we start generating traffic to the site, the question that Avisha asks is a good one is, what's the end game? What are we trying to do? And right now, the end game is to generate leads. And so if we start getting a lot of traffic, the thing that we have to do is we have to have something come up upon entry that basically allows us to capture leads, but we got to bribe them in order to be able to do that.
What about if we did it? Because my reluctance to insist on a phone number is, well, if I have to do that, I'm not even giving them my name. Well, what about if the pop-up is the one that is mandatory, and will capture their interest right away, right? If they will, and if they don't, they come out of that pop-up and they come back onto the home page. What if we have another area that's only just for their name, that it's not mandatory?
Yeah, I think
that's my dilemma. I don't want to lose an email. Good paying out.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. So what happens is if they're here, maybe somewhere on the site, so there's on the site itself. So here is the pop-up. This is going to be the pop-up, and then down here, we're going to put that on the site itself, we have a form for them to fill out to get a freebie with email only.
Yeah, I like that.
That makes sense. Avish, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you want to make the phone number mandatory because you might weed out the people who aren't serious now, but you'd also weed out the people who would be serious a couple months from now. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I buy that. I think that makes sense to me. So let's basically put that up as what we're going to try and do here initially, and we can tweak it later. The nice thing and I mean it's going to take a while as you listen to the Bill Ballou program. Like I said before, his program for somebody starting from scratch like you, he says 9 to 12 months. If you're starting from scratch. So that's going to be, and that means, and Gil, this is where you have, you've got to commit to, and I talked about this on the webinar last week, which is 4 times 250 word blog posts daily. And whether you do them yourself or have somebody else do them, I am paying someone to do those for me right now. She's about to complete her first month of blog posts. So if you go to my site, there has been a blog post done 4 blog posts done every day for the past 30 days. So I've had 120 blog posts.
Have you seen any results from that at all?
Yeah, I am. But again, remember what Bill said, which is that in terms of timing for someone like me, it should take 3 to 6 months to see real results. Mm-hmm. So again, this is a be patient kind of a thing. Have I seen some? Yes. My latest traffic figures were I'm currently up about 5,000 visitors monthly. Okay, and if we can get you up to 5,000 visitors a month, within 9 months to a year's time, we're going to get plenty of leads. It's going to happen. And the thing about it is that I think that the pop-up is going to be the people who are, hot to buy right now. And in fact, the other thing is on the pop-up, maybe what we put is, we put something like, want to speak to me right now, call XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if they're really hot to trot, let's give them your number. Here, call me. Here's my cell phone. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're gonna do there. So the Caribbean, the Caribbean. I like the. What do you think of the look of the site, Avish, for this purpose?
I don't know. It feels a little busy to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the graphics or the
It does
colors
to
or
me
the
as well.
combination they're in. What's that?
It does to me as well. I'm just, but this was just a placeholder just to get an idea. Stanley just threw something up here, but, maybe we should have a tagline: "Live and invest on the last frontier." And maybe there's a warning, and maybe the warning says, the warning is something like, warning: don't buy anything from anyone until you talk to me. There are a lot of scammers out there. And so now what you want to do then, Gil, is in order to do that, now one of the things that we want to put is another tab on the site. Write this down. Another tab is testimonials. So we want to have, remember I talked to you about this, video if possible, audio second, and written third in terms of from your existing client base of people who know and love you.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to have them in, you want to get them in somewhere between 30 and 45 seconds to say things like, I really could have made a big mistake if I'd not talked to Gil. I'm really happy I bought with him. There were a bunch of other people that I could have talked to and bought from. And frankly, I'm glad I made this decision because I found out later some of the other people were kind of shaky. In other words, I want them to give, some real reasons why you're the person that they should talk to.
Well, here's one thing I've learned from, and you guys can't know this without living here, right? There are scammers, but that's not something I want to focus on. I'd rather focus on the positive, which is we've got the best prices.
Okay.
It's great to say, hey, don't talk to anybody. Talk to me first or last. Don't buy anything until you talk to me because nobody beats our prices.
Okay. There you go. So don't buy anything from anyone until you talk to me. We have the best prices. So
Mm-hmm.
Then the testimonials. Now, I talked to you about this before. You should be concentrating on getting as many video testimonials from your existing people as you can. Have you started to do that yet?
No.
Okay, put that on
I'm just
your
catching
list.
up.
Put that on your list.
Can you? I'm sure you have the ability to send this at the end for me, right?
Yeah.
In an email, your little list.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just.
So you want videos are the most important? Do you think?
Yes, the videos
Video
are the most important.
testimonials.
Yeah, video testimonials hold and pull the most weight.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom, who's watching, says prices. Don't forget. Yeah, that we got it, Tom. That in fact, Gil alerted me to the fact that I'm making sure I don't forget that. If that's your sell point, then that's what we have to do. Okay, good. So we got a tab for testimonials. We've got a tab for we got the pop up. We got a tab for your book. Are you the only real estate agent who's written a book on Costa Rica?
No, on the Caribbean, yes.
On the Caribbean, okay. So only person who has written ... And you're going to help me fill in these blanks. and I'll send you this, and then we can send it to Stanley and tell him what to do. But I think that, what we're going to do is, the nice thing is, Gil, is that any cosmetic changes that we make to the site, if you started blogging tomorrow, it would not, you don't have to wait to start the blogging process. You can start that, as soon as you possibly can. So your goal should be to start doing the 4 250-word blog posts based on what the Bill Ballou material says as quickly as possible. So my question to you is, when can you start?
Well, boy, I tell you, that's a big chunk of responsibility, and I'm just really not sure what I'm going to do. Here's my question: How much could somebody expect to pay? Ballpark to have somebody do that thing for you.
Let's just say that you're looking at somewhere. I would guess. Now, again, you want to price that monthly, daily? How do you want to price it?
Monthly.
Okay. So monthly pricing for 4 blog posts daily, every day for 30 days, let's just say. I'm guessing that you would spend, my ballpark is about $1,000. Now, here's the deal. If we want this to be successful, we have to generate traffic based on the keywords that people are looking for stuff online. So this is not an optional item. The question becomes, and it's a good one, which is this $1,000, let's just say per month, is this something that you feel, that we feel is worth paying someone to do so that you can do your normal stuff? Or is this something that you want to do yourself, or what?
Boy, I would have to actually sit down and writing. I don't have to tell anybody here what writing's about. See what it would take. I mean, I would think I could even do maybe half and pay somebody half.
Yeah,
or
I mean that's certainly possible. The idea here, though, is that we know how this works, and if you're starting from scratch, it really does take a concerted effort to make this happen. So it's not like this that you're going to get Google to start seeing you without any effort or any work. The question becomes, are you going to pay someone, or are you going to do it yourself? And again, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's a 9 to 12 month commitment. So now here's my question, Gil. And Avish, help me out here, and let me make sure that I'm not missing something here. So on the average piece, or the average sale made, what is your average net profit?
Oh boy, that's a tough one.
An
average sale these days can be.
As a business person, you have to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not willing to tell everybody my business either.
Well, here's the deal.
Because there's competitors and everything else out here.
Okay, well, let's.
You want to talk about a Shark Tank?
Slow down. Here's what you have to ask yourself: if this is X, okay, and let's just say that X is about equal to, and we can make this very rough, 12 months of blog posts. If it's even close to that, this is an incredibly good investment.
When you're talking, listen, my sale prices are, let's say the average in phase 4, which is the only one that's left, is, you could roughly say $70,000 per lot.
Right.
So,
but that's
listen, a couple of sales a year. This is,
I'm not talking.
fine
I
marketing.
don't care what the sale price is. I want to know what the net profit is per unit. So, in other words, if the net profit per unit is anywhere near 12 times $1,000 or $12,000, that in 12 months from now, and let's just assume that this is
Mm-hmm.
done properly, that 12 months from now, we start to generate, even if it's 3 to 5 qualified leads a week. That's huge. But again, it's money out. So the question becomes,
Mm-hmm.
do we want to spend the money, or do we want to spend the time doing the writing?
Mm-hmm. Preferably, my preference is to do it myself anyway, just because I would prefer to do that.
I would
But
agree, but I'll tell you what. To write 4 blog posts of 250 words, Avish, you need to tell him about how long should that take him, given your experience.
Well, now, once you get kind of in a rhythm, I'd say, an hour. You can get 4 done, but it's probably more realistic to say an hour and a half to 2 hours. It really depends on how the topic you come up with and whether it's obvious and you can crank it out.
how many are you doing a day now, Avish?
I'm at 2 a day. I'm kind of working my way up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing it consistently now for at least a month. I tapered off around the holidays, picked it back up, but I have found that over time my pace is accelerated, so on a good day I can be done with my writing in about half an hour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is that one of the things that we don't want to have happen is we don't want to do this for a little while and then stop. That's worthless. Because, like I said, we're now at the end of January. If we started this February 1st and did it every day until the 31st of December 2013, we would have some results. I can't tell you exactly what, but we're going to get some traction. And the beauty about it is this, from my understanding, and again, Avish, you went through all of Bill's stuff as well. My understanding is that once you get some momentum going, that there's just upkeep rather than continuing 4 a day to do, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I remember it. So in other words, this work is put in not once and you're done, but in other words, you have to do less and less after that initial 9 to 12 month period. So I completely understand if you say to me, Fred, I cannot do that much, I don't have time to do that. I get it. But if we want to get leads and we want to make sales, somebody's got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, all of that is coming out of our P&L. So I mean, you're basically in the long run paying for half of that. I'm paying for half of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think I'm like you. I probably like most people. When you have your hand in it yourself, there's just a better sense of satisfaction and knowing that it's going to be done correctly. Because another thing, with my topic down here, I'm just a little leery, to be honest with you. Could I hand that off to somebody who's never even been to Costa Rica or whatever?
Yes.
And it mean anything?
Yes, you could. Because the main purpose of the blog posts, the blog posts have got to be sensible and they've got to, do all that kind of stuff. But the main thing, and Avish, you can chime in on this too, the main thing is that they have the keywords within the writing that attracts Google and makes it make sense. So the answer is yes, someone could do it. Could you do it better? Yes. But the problem is, and Avish knows this too, I started out saying to him, oh yeah, I'm going to do this myself. And you know what? I found out I couldn't do it. I couldn't have the time. So I bit the bullet and made the payment. So this is, great intentions will get us nowhere. And I found out for myself, although I really, really, really would have preferred to do it myself, I was delusional.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. And Avish is working, trying to generate speaking engagements, doing all that kind of stuff. And so he's finding out that the 4 times a day, is a pretty tough slog. So he's doing 2 a day. And Avish, again, let's have we seen? And again, Avisha's not been doing it for that long, but any traffic increase numbers yet, Avish?
Yeah, this week was a little bit up from last week, which, since I started recording it, by one visit was the highest I've had since I started. The interesting thing is my page views were a lot higher. So I also think that, just engagement and people coming to having generated more content obviously means when someone comes to the site, they have more things to go look around at. So it's definitely a slow climb, and I'm kind of trying to just I figure doing 2 a day consistently is better than doing 4 a day for a week and then tapering off. I'm also seeing how Fred's payment thing works. I'm doing it myself, and then if, as we see his results, then I may transition into that as well. So starting it myself and then handing it off once we see how it goes with Fred's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as soon as I have some data here, and again, I'm at the point right now where what I will do is, and this is what I will do is, every webinar that is like, say for example, the next webinar is on February the what? The 4th maybe? I don't. What's the
The
calendar?
6th.
February the no, is it the 6th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, February the 6th. So I would then. I'm going to report my numbers. So I will report my numbers the first Wednesday after the end of each month. And I will report traffic previous versus current month, just to see what kind of increases we have. And I think that this should be instructive. So Avish, how big of an increase did you see
In
traffic from, you said it went up. How much did it go up?
last week was a pretty good week. I went up by about 10 visitors since last week, which that was up like 50 visitors from the week before. So
Give me percentages.
uh,
Is that a 20% increase?
well, from last week it's more like a 5%. The one before that was about more like a third, 40% increase.
Yeah, so I mean, but again, we don't have enough data here to really make definitive statements on whether or not something's working, but it appears to be working somewhat, is
Yeah.
what we could say.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And again, this is all about, it's the first thing is we got to get them to the site. Now, Avish, what happened during that same time period where you had that increase in terms of the opt-in rate? Your opt-in rate was doing pretty well. Did that get affected to go down?
This week it went down, it went almost in half, from 8% to 4%, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. I mean, um, because now what you're getting is you may be getting a lot, because of Avish had some really good numbers, Gil, in terms of the number of people who opted in to his
I don't know what the
list.
opt-in means, to be honest with you. What's
Okay.
opt-in?
Avish, go ahead and explain.
Opt-in is just an opt-in is when someone comes to your site and opts into your list, so they give you their email address and name or whatever else you ask for. So your opt-in percentage is the percentage of the number of people who come to do that.
Okay.
And that tells us how well the site is closing people on giving us their name and email address and all that information. And so, if we can get to between 8 and 10% of the people who come there giving us their email address, that is extremely high. Now, in your case, I mean, I think if we get 2 or 3%, it'll be pretty damn good. So, this is the kind of thing where, you have a combination of, you get the traffic coming, but when the traffic comes, your goal is to generate as many leads as possible. So that's what we're trying to work on here. So I'm going to give, these traffic previous, and I should also give my own opt-in percentages, which I will try and create as well. I think Avish's has been pretty stellar. I mean, it was almost close to 10%, 8.5 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so those are really good numbers. So what we're going to do then is let's just try and work on this. And every time, Gil, the nice thing about it is that if you're doing right now, the only work that you really need to do, and the only thing that you have to do, is determine, number one, what should I be writing about? And you do that by coming up with the keywords. And if we do, we can just check this out right now. Since Bill isn't here, I'll use this tab and I'll go to Google external keyword tool. And so real estate Costa Rica. I don't know what exactly people, I could sign in, but I'm not going to do it. Real estate Costa Rica, high competition, 60,000 searches, huh? This is an interesting, I didn't put in Costa Rica beach real estate. I mean, so these are some of the key words that you're going to be writing for. Costa Rica property, Costa Rica home for sale, Costa Rica lot for sale. You can come up with, you can come up with a list, like I asked you to do, Gil, to come up with a list of 100. So 100.
And that's where you get them. You inspect all those and you just pull the keywords out of that, huh?
Yeah.
In the left column there.
Yep. You start putting the various things into the Google external keyword tool, come up with 100 keywords, and then you'll start writing articles that has this in the headline: Costa Rica beach real estate. So you don't use just that, but you might write as the title, 3 keys to selecting the right Costa Rica beach real estate. Now, that article can either be a single 250-word blog post, or it can be 3 parts. Part A, Part B, Part C, each of them about 250 words long. And then, like, if you look at my site, this is what she just did here. Notice, ads on your info marketing website, Part 1. Ads on your information marketing website, Part 2. So 2 blog posts here. And they are, it's 250 words each or so, and they are, and by the way, I trust this person I had do this, so I haven't even been checking these. And so here it is. This is about 250 words long. And so that's the kind of thing that we have to get going for you as well, which is we first have to determine the keywords. Now, notice that in her title for this, ads on your info marketing website. So info marketing websites is really what she's trying to target here. And she added this as part of the title to make it make sense. So you're going to do the same thing, is you're going to go to the Google keyword tool here, and you're going to take these various titles and you're going to either, sort of add a couple things to them or use them as is and start writing. And once this happens and you have a ton of stuff out there, Google is going to say to themselves, well, this guy has got a lot of interesting and important content for people who are looking for this stuff. So we're going to give Gil Phelan some good rankings. So now if I put in Costa Rica beach real estate, that would be a good keyword for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, people are definitely looking for that over here on the Caribbean.
Okay, so that's a yes or no. That'd be yes. Let's see who comes up. PropertiesinCostaRica.com, not a bad place. Do you know who this is?
Not really.
You should.
There's 4 million. There's 4 million people who live in Costa Rica, and there's 8 million realtors. So
yeah, well, you got to become familiar with people who are number 1 in Google for these terms. You got to see what they're doing. You got to watch. Take a look at these guys. This is important. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that we want to do. Here's an $85,000 house sold November 11th. You know, just I would start crbeach.com. I don't know what that is. Tamborhills.com. Do you know what these guys are?
Yeah, I know Tamber Hills. I know Troposphere.
Yeah. So you're going to have to
The
start to
American
see,
European.
you're going to try and, you know, what you're going to be doing is these people may not have done hardly any work to get these keywords listed. And so when you start doing your
Mhm.
stuff, all of a sudden you're going to start kicking butt. And when you start kicking butt, most of these people are going to be, you know, they're not, I don't think they're as smart or and as certainly as savvy as you are on all this kind of stuff when it's all said and done. And so they're going to be way behind once they finally figure out what's going on.
Mhm. Mhm.
So 100
Hmm.
keywords to create those blog posts, to use them like I'm describing here. And I think that that's going to get you well on your way to get,
Let me ask you a question,
yeah,
Fred. When you look at that 56 million results,
56 million
I mean, what?
results for,
Yeah, when the last search you did, was it 50 or 56,000, or I'm just curious.
I'm trying to figure out which number you were seeing here. Let's check it out. You've got this search has 60,500 for the general term, high competition. What did you want to ask on?
Oh, no, when you went to Costa Rica Beach Real Estate, there was a number of pages, I guess.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say. And I was just curious.
Rico Beach Real Estate.
There
Yeah,
you go.
there are 57 million searches that Google thinks has something to do with this. Meaning to say, it either has Costa Rica, it has Costa Rica
Hmm.
Beach. There are 57 million pages that Google thinks has something to do with this. So if we go to page
Would that
10
include
here,
real estate without being Costa Rica?
I'm sorry.
Right. Would that be real estate in general without being Costa Rica? I don't know what
Um,
that number means,
you know,
obviously.
I'm not sure exactly what this means anymore, but it's got at least something. Like here's, I went to the 10th page. So this is Costa Rica Caribbean beach real estate in the Caribbean coast. So whoever this is, American European Real Estate Group, you
That's
know,
Evo. He's in, yeah, Evo in San Jose.
yeah. So in other words, he has figured out that he needs to have these keywords, and he's been doing this thing, but yet that's still on page 10. You know, that's on the
Hmm.
10th page, page 10 right here. So what you have to do is, again, this is all about generating leads. And if we're going to generate leads, we got to dominate the market. So I think that's, you know, I don't want to beat the dead horse on this. So I think that that's a pretty good place to stop, just because I think you now have, you know, let's try and make some decisions between now and next week when we meet again
Sounds like a
on
plan.
what we're going to do. Avish, any final thoughts there?
No,